Charles Philip Arthur George was born on November 14, 1948, at Buckingham Palace, the eldest son of Princess Elizabeth and Prince Philip. Just 4 years later, when his mother became Queen Elizabeth II, Charles's destiny was sealed. He would one day wear the crown. His childhood was far from ordinary. Every step of his life was under public scrutiny, and was groomed early for his future role. Sent to strict boarding schools, Charles often felt isolated and bullied. Classmates recalled him as shy, even timid, yet this environment taught him patience and resilience. The loneliness made him introspective and sensitive, qualities that later shaped his leadership style. From a very young age, Charles knew his path was not his to choose. His entire life was tied to the future throne of the United Kingdom. Breaking from royal tradition, Charles was the first heir apparent to attend boarding school instead of being privately tutored. He studied at Cheam School, then Gordonston in Scotland, notorious for its tough discipline and physical training. Charles admitted he often felt unhappy there, describing his years as lonely and difficult. Yet those challenges built his endurance. Later, he entered Trinity College at Cambridge, where he studied archaeology, anthropology, and history. He even attended a course at Aberystwyth to learn Welsh in preparation for his investiture as Prince of Wales. This rich academic foundation made him one of the most intellectually diverse heirs in royal history. It was also during these years that Charles developed his lifelong passion for architecture, the environment, and cultural preservation, themes that would later define much of his public work. Charles's life changed dramatically when he met Lady Diana Spencer, a shy yet charming young woman adored by the public. Their wedding in 1981 was broadcast worldwide, celebrated as a modern fairy tale. Diana became Princess of Wales, injecting fresh energy into the monarchy, while Charles was expected to embody the image of the perfect husband and heir. But beneath the glittering surface, deep cracks formed. Charles was contemplative and reserved, while Diana was emotional, spontaneous, and vibrant. The shadow of Camilla Parker Bowles, Charles's longtime confidant, only intensified the tension. Though the couple had 2 sons, William and Harry, their marriage soon spiraled into turmoil, with the press relentlessly exposing every conflict. What began as a dream romance ended as a public spectacle, leaving Charles's image damaged and his personal life under constant judgment. The 1990s were a time of crisis for Charles. His fractured marriage with Diana dominated headlines and officially ended in divorce in 1996. Public opinion turned against him, painting Diana as the victimized princess and Charles as the unfaithful husband. The greatest blow came in 1997, when Diana died tragically in a car crash in Paris. The world mourned, and much of the anger was directed at Charles and the royal family. It was one of the darkest periods of his life. He had lost the mother of his children while simultaneously bearing the wrath of a grieving nation. Despite the storm, Charles remained committed to raising William and Harry while quietly rebuilding his public role. Step by step, he sought to prove that he was more than the negative image portrayed by the tabloids. Despite the scandals, Charles's bond with Camilla Parker Bowles endured. Their relationship, once condemned by the public, was the constant thread in his life. After years of patience, Charles and Camilla finally married in 2005 in a modest but meaningful ceremony. What once symbolized betrayal slowly transformed into acceptance, as people recognized the authenticity of their partnership. Camilla, once vilified, gradually won over public opinion and is now queen consort. This love story, tested by decades of scrutiny, revealed a different side of Charles, a man willing to fight for personal happiness while balancing duty to the crown. The union also marked a turning point, showing that even the monarchy, long bound by tradition, could adapt to modern realities of love, forgiveness, and resilience. Charles distinguished himself through his outspoken advocacy on issues often ignored by other royals. For decades, he has been a passionate voice for environmental protection, organic farming, and climate change action. Once dismissed as eccentric for his views, he is now seen as ahead of his time. His speeches urging sustainable living and ecological responsibility resonate more than ever in today's climate crisis. Beyond the environment, Charles has promoted architecture and heritage preservation, founding the Prince's Trust to support disadvantaged youth. He believes the monarchy must not only represent tradition but also actively engage with society's challenges. These causes, pursued consistently for decades, gradually reshaped his public image from a troubled prince to a leader with vision and purpose. Amid his public duties, Charles faced personal trials as a father. His relationship with William and Harry was often strained, particularly as Harry and Meghan stepped away from royal life, sparking global controversy. The tension put Charles in a difficult position, balancing royal duty with his role as a parent. Reports frequently portrayed him as distant, yet those close to him describe a man deeply devoted to his sons, even if expressing affection didn't come naturally. With William, Charles focused on preparing him for kingship, while with Harry, he struggled to bridge divides. These family dynamics humanized Charles in the eyes of many, showing that even future kings wrestle with the universal challenges of love, loyalty, and reconciliation within a family. On September 8, 2022, Queen Elizabeth II passed away after a historic 70-year reign. At age 73, Charles finally became King Charles E, the oldest monarch ever to ascend the British throne. The moment was both historic and bittersweet, as it came only with the loss of his beloved mother. His coronation in 2023 was a global event, filled with pageantry and tradition but also immense pressure. He inherited not only the crown but also the daunting task of upholding his mother's legacy. The world watched closely. Could a man who had waited a lifetime, and endured so much public scrutiny, rise to the challenge of uniting the monarchy with a modern world that questioned its very relevance? Charles's reign began with pressing challenges. Public confidence in the monarchy has waned, and several Commonwealth nations openly debate breaking ties with the crown. Financial transparency, political neutrality, and the monarchy's role in society are under constant scrutiny. Internally, family tensions, especially with Harry and Meghan, remain a source of drama that overshadows royal duties. Yet Charles strives to present himself as a monarch willing to adapt. He emphasizes a slimmed-down monarchy, focusing on core responsibilities and a smaller circle of working royals. His goal is to make the institution more relatable and sustainable, balancing centuries-old tradition with the demands of a modern, diverse, and skeptical 21st-century society. Today, King Charles III is seen as a figure of endurance. Few in history have waited longer for the crown, and his journey reflects resilience in the face of criticism, loss, and change. He embodies a monarchy at a crossroads, anchored in tradition yet pushed to modernize. From a shy boy overshadowed by duty, through years of public scandal, to a king striving to leave his mark, Charles's story is one of survival and transformation. His reign may not be as long as his mother's, but it symbolizes the monarchy's ability to endure and adapt. Charles stands as a reminder that the crown is not merely a symbol of privilege, it is also a burden of responsibility, perseverance, and the constant need to earn public trust.